everyone, thank you for watching today's video. I am wickedly excited to do because it is going to be all about the new Morphe and Jaclyn Hill collaboration. I was so surprised and so excited when this showed up on my doorstep last night. This is the PR package that Morphe sent out to some bloggers, and well, I was just all kinds of excited to get this. And I know a lot of people are really looking forward to this collaboration and, you know, want to see the palettes and want to see how they perform. So I took to my Snapchat and my Instagram stories right away. I already shared some swatches over there and I asked what you guys would want to see because I wanted to film with this right away. And the majority vote was people said they wanted to see a look with each of the 4 different palettes. So that is what today's video is going to be. It is not going to be a review. I have only swatched these palettes. I have put nothing on my eyes so far, so it's all going to be trying it for the first time today. I am planning on coming back and doing a review and also comparison video with these palettes and with the original Jaclyn Hill palette, because I know a lot of people have questions about that as well. But today's video is just going to be all about showing you guys each of the 4 palettes in here, swatching everything, and then also doing a look with each of the 4 palettes on my eyes. So I'm pretty excited about that. This was one neat PR package. So the collection that Jaclyn is doing with Morphe now, it is called the Vault. So that's kind of what this package kind of signifies here, which I thought was super cute. But basically I just opened this up and then you have Jaclyn's photo here, a little bit about the collection, and then you have these 4 different palettes inside. So what this is pertaining, you have 4 palettes. Each one looks like this. There is 10 different shades inside each one. It also does come with a mirror. You can buy the collection for $49, or you can purchase the palettes individually at $15 a piece. So that's a little bit about the collection and what I'm going to be doing in today's video. We have a lot to do. I've never done a video with 4 different looks before, but let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so I'm going to talk about each palette individually, share it up close, share the swatches, and do the eye look. So first up, I'm going to start with the palette Ring the Alarm. Now, one thing that I noticed about these palettes that I think are pretty darn cool is that each palette has a different color theme in here. So this one here is the red palette. So where it says Ring the Alarm on the side of the palette there, that's also in red. And then all of the details on the front are the same, except if you can see sprinkled in there are kind of like the red confetti marks. And each palette has that as well. So the purple palette has the purple lettering and the purple confetti. I thought that was pretty darn cool. I also think it's pretty slick that each of the palettes have a mirror. That was one of my complaints with the initial Morphe palette, that it didn't have a mirror in it. And also I really enjoy that the shade names are listed right in here in the palette. You can see all of the shade names in there. That was another one of my complaints as well. My original Jaclyn Hill palette, I taped the names to my palette so I could know what the shade names are. And my Jaclyn Hill palette looks like a mess because this is one of my favorite palettes. So I was pretty darn excited when I saw that they were coming out with a new collection. Like I said, I was so surprised to get it in PR. I do get some things from Morphe, but I just, for whatever reason, I thought for sure like they would not send that to me. So I was so excited and so grateful because I'm really excited to be able to make this video, and I wanted to do it right away because I know I've been getting asked so many questions on it. And even when I first shared the first photo last night, they were like, what's the palette like? Tell me what they are. Like, people wanted to know right then. I was like, I promise you I'm filming tomorrow. I promise. So I wanted to get this video up as quick as I could. So I did watch Jaclyn's video, and she did say kind of the idea behind having these new 4 palettes out is that when she was doing the original palette with Morphe 35 shade palette, and she said there was so many other colors in there that she wanted to include, but they just couldn't fit into the 35 palette. So her and Linda Morphe decided to come up with another collection a year later and have some of those from the Vault, some of the shades that didn't make it into that palette, make it into these palettes. If you want to do a full look with the eye makeup, if I want to do any lashes with it, and also a lip color so you can see it all come together. So my apologies if this video is a little bit longer, but I wanted to be able to do a look and a full look with each of the 4 palettes so you can get a better idea. Do you want them all? Do you only want 1 or 2 from the collection? and that sort of thing. So I do have my makeup on, everything except for my eyeshadow and my lip color, of course. But why don't we go ahead and hop into the first palette here, which is Ring the Alarm. I'll go ahead and show you a close-up of the palette and also the swatches. This palette is definitely very, very warm toned. You have a great mixture of matte and shimmers. This is one that when I saw it, I was like, ooh, like these are just like my tones. These are a lot of the shades, you know, like the shade family that I reach for out of the Jaclyn Hill palette. And I thought with this palette, I could do kind of like a blown out smoky eye. It's one of my go-to looks with the original Jaclyn Hill palette. Okay, so I got my ears on, we are zoomed in, so I'm coming into Ring the Alarm, and the first shade that I'm going to go in with is the second one here, which is called Rush. And I'm just going to take a really big blending brush and I'm going to work this into the crease and just be really messy and sloppy with it. I like this kind of smoky eye because like nothing's really precise and it actually is very quick and very easy. So I'm just going to go ahead and start to apply it into the crease and work it up. And then I'm going to take this more orangier shade, which is Alert, and I'm going to take a little smaller blending brush, and I'm also going to work that into the crease, and it's going to be just a little bit lower than that first shade, but again, just kind of being a little sloppy with it. Now I will say I did swatch everything in the palettes, and to me, I felt like the shimmers were absolutely outstanding. And I mean, I thought the same in the Jaclyn Hill palette. Again, I'm a huge fan of that palette. I've put it in, like, if I could only keep one makeup tag, I was keeping that palette. I've put it in favorites videos. It truly is one of my favorite palettes, and I think the quality is really phenomenal in there. So again, that was another reason why, and when I watched Jaclyn's video and she was saying it is the same formula, I was like, okay, then I would be sold, because that palette is really, really high quality to me. And so far, I mean, the shimmers swatched absolutely phenomenal. Most of the mattes did as well. Mostly when we get into the darker shades, especially in the Dark Magic palette, those didn't swatch as well, but honestly, most of those really dark tones never really do for me. And it really kind of just depends on how they all perform on the eyes. So that is what I wanted to see today. I wanted to get everything on my eyes so I can actually give somewhat better feedback, because swatches are great and I do think that they're important, but obviously what matters most is how the shades perform on the eyes. I'm going to keep my same brush and I'm going to come into Framed right here, which is more of a matte purple. And I'm also going to work that into the crease, but again, even lower. And I'm just going to really blend all of that together. Purple, since it is so dark, I want to work on building it up instead of putting a lot onto my brush and onto my eyelid and really having to blend. I'm just going to take it in like small steps. I'm going to come in with an even smaller brush and I'm going to grab the shade Secret. And I'm also just going to run this on the outer part of my eye and then also blend everything together just to kind of deepen things up out here. For my lower lash line, I'm going to be repeating every single color that I did and just sweeping it along the lower lash line again. And again, just being kind of sloppy with it. So first I'm going to apply Rush. And then I'm also going to apply Alert, which is that more orangey shade. And then I'm going to add Framed, which is the purple. I'm going to add Secret, and then just make sure the lower lash line is really blended out. I really believe a very like blown out smoky eye needs some lashes, so I'm going to go ahead and pop these lashes on. These are from Flutter Lashes in the style Royalty. Okay, so this is the look with the lashes on. The lash glue is probably still drying, but to keep it moving, I'm just going to add my lip color. So with a look like this, I like to do something nude. So this is from Lawless Beauty, and it is in the shade George. It is one of my favorite nudes at the moment. Okay, so this is the first look with the Ring the Alarm palette, kind of my blown out smoky eye. A look that I absolutely love to do, a look that I love doing with the Jaclyn Hill palette. This is actually really similar to the look that I have in my profile photo, which is the same across like YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all of that. That is the look that I basically was recreating today. I can say that out of all of the shades that I use in the palette, which I think were only 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. So I only used 4 shades out of 10 for this one, but I did use all mattes, and really I was very curious to see how the mattes were going to apply, because like I said, the mattes don't swatch quite as well or as like boom as like the shimmers do normally, and that's just across all palettes. But I have to say I was very impressed. Everything blended out really easily for me. I love how all of the shades turned out. I love the oranges in there. I love that purple. I thought that was a really stunning color, and so far so good for the first palette that I tried. So why don't we go ahead and move over to palette number 2. Alrighty, so next up I'm going to go into the palette that I am probably most intimidated by. This one is Dark Magic. So this one is the green palette. So you can see there's a ton of beautiful greens in there. Again, we have a mixture of matte and shimmers. I thought this one was interesting because it's really the only palette that has this first kind of matte shade that I lay down all over my eyelid primer or my concealer. But we have a beautiful deep green, we have a beautiful deep blue, we have a really cool kind of, I don't know how you describe this kind of like green color. It's like a very dirty, grungy green color. The shade Temptress is also very, very unique with a bunch of shimmer in there as well. Very cool color. This palette, just being how deep it is, and especially with the greens and the blues, it's not what I would consider to be like my go-to norm looks. And keep in mind, I'm not a makeup artist. I'm an author who lives in Iowa who also just enjoys talking about makeup. So sometimes I don't have the artistically creative mind to look at palettes and feel like I know what I'm doing. Alrighty, so once again, we are zoomed in. So since we do have this first shade Poof, I did go ahead and put concealer on my under eyes and also on my eyelid again, but I'm just gonna go ahead and use that to set my concealer. This shade right off the bat has a ton of pigment. Sometimes in palettes, this shade doesn't really have a ton of pigment, which is fine because I'm usually just using it for this purpose. But then you have those palettes that this shade just comes out like raring to go. And that would be the case with this palette. First, I'm going to use a big blending brush, and I'm going to pick up the shade Shh, which is more of a cool toned brown transition to me. And then I'm going to run this into the crease as well. I'm having to build this one up a couple of times. Just wanted to note that. Okay, so now I'm going to go into Inside Job, which is this really dark green matte shade. And I'm gonna come in with a smaller brush because I'm going to slowly start to work it up on this outer part of my eye. Again, when I work with dark shades, I don't want to come in too much too fast, because then I get real scared. But I'm just going to take my time and build up this color. I've been tapping really lightly into that shade, and it's coming across very, very pigmented so far. I am getting a little bit of fallout over here as well with that dark shade, which honestly doesn't surprise me, especially with how pigmented it is with how little shadow I'm using. I also like to use a more pointed brush like this. It's the Sigma E45 because I can kind of make that shape, you know, kind of taking those shadows out to a point instead of being more blended. And that's what I'm going for with this one. I am going to cut the crease, so I'm going to use my Colourpop No Filter Concealer, and I'm going to place this along the inner part of my eye where I don't have any shadows yet, and then up into the crease as well. So I want it to look something like that, and then I'm gonna take that smaller brush that I was using, and I'm just gonna kind of blend along that concealer line. And then I'm gonna grab a small shader brush, and I'm gonna go into the shade Trickery, which is that green with some shimmer. I am gonna spray my brush. I normally spray my brushes when I'm working with any shimmers, and especially since I do have my face done, it can help prevent some fallout. And then I'm just going to start to pack that color on the center of the lid. See any glitter? There's like flecks of glitter that got stuck under the tip of my brush there, so it's not the shadow, it's just shimmery. But I was like, I know I saw that piece of glitter fall out, I was like, where'd that glitter come from? It's stuck in my brush, so I apologize about that. I did not realize that when I grabbed it, but I'm just placing that shade in the center of the lid here, so I'm still leaving that beginning part blank. And then I'm going to take an even tinier brush. This is the Sigma Smudge E21, Again, I'm going to spray it, and I'm gonna pick up a little bit of Power Cut, this shimmer here. I'm gonna pack that onto this very inner corner of the eye. And I want this to really blend into the other green. So I'm just gonna use my brush and just kind of merge the two together. What does everybody say in tutorials? Marry. I'm gonna marry the two together. That's what you gonna do, girl. So before I put lashes on, my camera is gonna overheat, so I'm going to do the other eye off camera since the cut crease does take a while, but here is what the eye looks like before I put lashes on and complete the lower lash line as well. So I am gonna have to wipe away this fallout also, so just wanted to let you guys see what it looked like before I dust that away. I just added some lashes from Nikkia Joy. These are the Charlotte lashes, and then I put just a tiny bit of deep end liner from Urban Decay into my waterline. So for the lower lash line, I kind of want to do a little bit of blue. I feel like I should go green, but I'm super curious about this blue. So I'm going to come into Busted and put it on a flat definer brush. This is the Sigma E15. And then I'm just going to push that really close to my lower lash line. And then once again, I'm gonna grab my tiny smudge brush and take a little bit more of Power Cut, and I'm going to apply that to the rest of the lash line and then also on the inner corner. Okay, so that is it for the eye look. So I'm going to add my lip color. This is Age, Sex, Location from MAC, one of my favorite nudes. Alrighty, so this is the finished look with palette number 2, the Dark Magic palette. I have to say I was nervous about this palette, but I do like the way that the look came out. I tried to do something similar to the eye look that I had. I think it was in my most recent Makeup I Regret buying video because I got a lot of requests to do a tutorial on that, and this is really similar to that. And it's the same kind of technique where I kind of take the shadow out more into the wing, and then I also kind of have this color scheme going on. I did use the Colourpop and Kathleen Light's Dream Street palette for that tutorial, so I wanted to create something as similar as I could to it to show you guys how I got it. I think I was even wearing Age, Sex, Location in that video, which is why I chose it for this look. So I have to say overall I'm pretty happy with it. So I used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shadows out of 10 out of this one. I do like it. I do have to say Trickery and Inside Job were more similar than I thought that they would be. I really thought Trickery was going to have a lot more shimmer in it, and it didn't. I mean, it does have shimmer in it. It does, but they were more similar than I thought, and again, that could be because I was putting them right next to each other on my eyes. You know, I don't know, but they were more similar. Power Cut is an absolutely phenomenal color, and I'm loving how the inner corners of my eyes look. I have to say too, I also thought Inside Job was just a little bit more on the patchy side. If I had to compare it to the look that I did with the Dream Street palette, that one was a little bit easier to work with. So I did want to go ahead and just based on first impressions, say that that was something that I noticed. That blue though that I put on the lower lash line is absolutely stunning, and I know it's such a small little area, but I love how that looks, and I really want to put that one all over the lid. There was some fallout with that deeper green shade, the Inside Job, and then also some fallout with Power Cut as well. So I would suggest using the setting spray with the shimmer and just doing your eyes before you were to do your face makeup with this palette. But again, that doesn't surprise me with these darker shades. I find that fairly common amongst most of the palettes. So overall, I'm still pretty happy with this one. I was nervous about it, but I'm happy, and there's still a lot more colors in here that I'm pretty darn excited to play with. So that is look number 2 for the Dark Magic palette. Alrighty, so I am back for look number 3, palette number 3. We are going to be using Armed and Gorgeous. This one is more of the yellow palette, and this one is really quite fun. This was one that I was eyeing. I really like the shade Access, but honestly, these golds in here, they swatched so beautifully, both Guilt Trip and Coin. They swatched so gorgeous. I also like the oranges in here. VIP is a really cool white shade. Top Secret also has my attention. So I am still not quite 100% sure what I'm gonna do for my eye look. I wanna try something a little bit different and kind of focus it more on like the yellow and maybe that yellow gold shade that's really beautiful. Alrighty, so first up, I'm going to take the shade Agent over here, which looks like a nice transition shade. I'm gonna use a big fluffy brush. And this kind of looks like a brown with some orange to it. And I'm just going to work that into the crease as well. My eyes are kind of like, what are you doing? What's happening here? So I'm gonna be excited that after this I only have to remove my makeup one more time and then I can just let it stay because my eyes are not used to this. All right, and then I want to try something a little bit different. So I'm going to take the shade Access, kind of more of this like yellow. It's not just like a straight yellow. It has a little bit of something else in it. And I'm going to take a flat shader brush, the Sigma E55. I didn't spare my brush or anything like that, but I'm just going to tap off the excess. And I'm going to pack this pretty much all over the lid. That's actually coming off more yellow than I thought on the eyes, which actually has me really excited. I really didn't get much fallout on that eye, so that's pretty good. This is more yellow than I thought it was gonna be on the eyes. That has me so excited. I didn't think it would be, and I love, like, I'm really into yellow right now. Yellow eye looks, yellow shirts, yellow dresses, like I'm into it all. I'm just gonna do a quick blend with my first brush. Again, I'm going to pick up a flat brush. I'm going to spray it, and I really want to try out the shade Coin because it looks amazing. So I'm going to pick up a little bit of Coin right here. When I swatched it, I was like, please get on my eyes. So I'm just going to kind of tap this on over the yellow. I'm not going to do anything too precise, like I didn't want to cut the crease or anything. I'm also going to keep this on like the inner half of my eye. Okay, so actually I like this eye more. I didn't take it quite as far as this eye, so I'm going to come back and add a little bit more yellow over here because I like how we have like the shimmer that fades into the yellow that kind of fades into that orange transition. I actually really like the way that looks. I'm getting a little bit of fallout from the yellow, so I'll have to go ahead and dust that away. Okay, so this look, I'm trying to keep this one as like my super simple look that I'm doing, but I'm really curious about this green, so I want to put it on my lower lash line. So I'm going to take a little bit of Top Secret and a pencil brush. I'm just going to smudge that along the lower lash line, and I'm going to keep it on the outer half of my eye. Then I'm going to take a little bit of a bigger pencil brush and pick up Secure, which is kind of like this hot orange. And I'm going to start that in the middle of the eye and then blend it through the green and then also towards the inner corner. This look definitely calls for a little bit of VIP in the inner corner. This is like a shocking white with shimmer in it. It was crazy cool when I swatched it, but I feel like you need a very little amount. Okay, so this is the eye look before I put lashes on. Honestly, with this eye look, I probably wouldn't wear lashes. I would just put on some mascara and be good to go, but I am trying to do lashes with each of the different looks. I feel like they look better for photos, and I'm also taking photos for Instagram and filming videos for Instagram at the same time that I'm filming this video. I've now been filming for 3.5 hours, so we're doing a lot. We're doing a lot at this moment. So I am going to go ahead and add just some really natural lashes, but I wanted to do a look where I'm not doing a super complicated technique. At least I didn't think, you know, I wasn't doing a cut crease or bringing in a concealer or anything like that. I wanted to do something that was just a little bit more similar. I'm trying to do a different style or different technique for each of the 4 different looks that I'm doing. So this one was kind of my more simple but very like springy yellow gold makeup look. I actually really like the way that it turned out, but I'm gonna put the lashes on, add the lip color, and then we'll finish up with the third palette. So I just added some lashes. These are from a Nikkia Joy set in their natural set, and these are very, very natural lashes, but again, like I said, I don't think that this look needs lashes, so I went with a really natural pair. For my lip color, I'm going to use Milk Makeup and Cream, one of my favorite lip colors, and I feel like it's a very like natural lip color as well, like a Your Lips But Better color, and I feel like it would just go with the whole vibes of this makeup look. Okay guys, so this is the finished look with the third palette, the Armed and Gorgeous palette. I really, really like this look. Like I said, I love yellow looks right now, but I am loving this one. I tried to do this look similar to the one that I had in my products brands that I loved before getting PR, which is kind of funny. Morphe was mentioned in that one and my story of getting the first Jaclyn Hill palette, so that's kind of fun. I did kind of a similar look in that video, so I was trying to recreate something like that, but I love these yellow tones. I love that shimmer, was so pretty. So I don't even know how many ones I used. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 again, so I used 6 shades out of this palette, and I am pretty impressed as well. Again, I tried to do something pretty simple with this look to show you how quick and easy it could be. Again, you can skip lashes and just do a bunch of mascara like I did in that video, but I'm really impressed with this one. I'm so excited that that yellow turned out to be more yellow than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to have a tinge of some orange in it, but it really was very yellow, and that has me so excited. So that is our third look. Let's move on to the final palette. Alrighty, moving on to the fourth and final palette. This is Bling Boss, and this is the purple palette. This palette has me very excited. This was the #1 palette that I was planning to purchase. I love purples on the eyes. I'm so into pinks right now. This one has some nice pink tones in it as well, and I am so excited about this one. So for this eye look, I'm going to try to create a halo eye. I love doing halo eyes, and we haven't done one yet. I'm really inspired by the purple, which is called Gem. It's a really cool metallic purple. I'm really inspired by that one, but there's so many colors in here that I'm so excited to play with. But I had that kind of thought jump into my mind as soon as I saw this palette, which rarely happens, so fingers crossed this goes well. Eyes are like, will you please stop putting concealer over me? They hurt. Hopefully they're still holding up okay. But okay, so for the halo eyes, I really just jump right into the halo. I think that they're super easy to do. There's not a lot of blending with them, and it's why I like them so much. So first I'm going to come in with the shade Gem, this really cool metallic purple, and I'm going to build that shade on the outer part of my eye. I didn't use any setting spray for this one. I might need to because it's going on a little bit later than I anticipated. But also at the same time, I don't want it to be like too overwhelming. Especially with halo eyes, you don't have to build up the inner and outer fully right away, because I kind of come back after I put in the center shade, then I come back and build them up more and that sort of thing. So I'm just going to build that right on the outer part. I am getting a lot of fallout with this shade. So again, spraying the brush might help with the fallout issue. And I'm also going to bring that right in the inner corner of my eye. That honestly was super easy to build up. I'm going to go ahead and come back with some concealer. I was a little worried at first, but that took me no time at all to build that shade up. So that's awesome. I love the way it looks. That is so purple. It looks so cool. Okay, so I'm just gonna put a little bit of concealer right in the center of where I put those purple shades. So something like that is kind of what I'm going for. So next I'm gonna spray just a small brush. This is the Inner Corner E46 from Sigma. And I'm going to take Ballsy right here and place that over the concealer. I'm going to take my time and completely cover the concealer with the shade Ballsy. And then also kind of blend that shade and purple together as well. So it should look as something like this right now. Again, I'm just gonna kind of come back and forth. I kind of build up out here and in the inner corner, and then I'll add some more shimmer, and I just kind of go back and forth until I get it to where exactly I like it. But I'm also going to clean up the fallout and add some lashes. Okay, my lashes are still drying, but I need to keep it rolling because my camera is going to die for the second time since starting filming this. I added just a little bit of purple liner to my waterline from Urban Decay, and then coming into the palette, I'm gonna grab out the shade Rockstar and a pencil brush, and I'm gonna put that onto the lower lash line. Ooh, that's really pretty. Ooh. And then I'm gonna come in with the same brush, and I'm gonna grab the second shade, which is Hush, and I'm just going to kind of blend out that purple with this shade. I'm gonna grab a little bit of Ballsy again with the same brush that I applied it with, and I'm gonna apply just a tiny amount to the inner corner. For my lips, I'm going to do something that I've been doing quite a bit lately. I'm going to line and fill in my lips with just a nude lip liner. This is Boldly Bare from MAC. And then I'm just going to go over that with the new NARS lip balm in, let me say it correctly, Orgasm. I can't remember if this was Orgasm or Super Orgasm. And you can't mix those two up, you know? Poor lips are struggling a little bit after 3 lip color changes, but that is what I'm going to do for my lipstick. But after that, that's gonna do it for the 4th and final look using the Jaclyn Hill Vault collection with Morphe. So here is the purple look that I came up with. I really, really like this one. I love doing a halo eye. I think it is so easy. This lash is not looking the best, but 4 lashes It's been a long day, guys, so sorry about that, but I love this purple look so much. That purple, the gem, oh my gosh, and the shimmer in Ballsy. I don't know how to choose a favorite look at this point, but this is definitely up there. And again, I love how purple looks with green eyes. I love the smoky lower lash. Oof. I really like this look. So how many shades did I use? I think 1, 2, 3, 4. Only 4 out of this one. Halo Eyes, again, super simple. You don't need a lot of shadows to pull off a look, but I really, really like this. I'm very impressed with the purples in here. That has me excited. I can't wait to play more with this one. I really like this one, but after that, we got 4 looks with 4 palettes. Alright guys, so that is going to wrap up today's video, doing swatches and a look with each of the 4 new palettes from the Jaclyn Hill and Morphe Vault collection. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that you found it helpful. I'm going on hour 5 of filming between having my camera heat up and having to recharge it. It's been a while. It's been a while here filming, but I had so much fun. I had so much fun playing with these palettes and coming up with the different looks. I really, really hope that you found this helpful. Let me know what you thought down in the comments. Are you planning on getting all 4? Are you leaning towards just some of them in the collection? Again, you can purchase all 4 for $49, or individually they are going to be $15. They will be available on the Morphe website on June 26th. Let me know too if you have a favorite look. Honestly, I can't decide. I actually really enjoyed them all. I'm not sure which one would be my favorite, but I'd love to know if you guys have a favorite out of this one as well. Of course, this is a first impression. This was the first time I was putting everything on my eyes, but I have to say I do find the quality to be the same as the Jaclyn Hill palette. So if you've always wanted to try that palette, but maybe there's specific shades that you wanted out of there and they correspond to one of these palettes, you could save some money and get that. I really had no issues with blending. Probably my biggest issue, I would say, would be the fallout, and that is when I was using those dark colors. And again, that's pretty standard for me across the board with my eyeshadow palettes. So based off of first impressions, would I recommend these? Yes, I would really recommend all 4. I obviously am going to try them out more. I'll come back and give a full review. I just want to wrap this up by saying thank you guys for watching my videos and for following me and supporting me, because this was a really, really cool package for me to get. And I tried to get this video up as soon as I could, because getting a package like that in PR, I really wanted to be able to come on camera as soon as I could and maybe help you guys make a decision on if you need these palettes, which ones that you want, etc. And I get these packages and these opportunities because of you guys, so I'm really grateful for that. So thank you guys so much. I didn't want to wrap up the video without saying that. So thank you guys. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that you found it helpful. I will come back and do a review and also some comparison swatches with the original Jaclyn Hill palette as well, so stay tuned for that video. If there's anything else that you would like to see with these palettes, please also do let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you did enjoy this video or you found it helpful, I hope that you'll give this video a thumbs up. I hope that you'll also consider subscribing before you go, and I'll catch you guys in tomorrow's video. Bye.